I'm live. Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton. And it's time for Dancing for Relevancy. Actually, it's like past time because normally I do this show normally at 10 a.m. and that's 1 p.m. on the East Coast and 6 p.m. In England, right? Because this show covers both Dancing with the Stars as well as Strictly Come Dancing, which is the British version. Um, I have to say, watching Strictly Come Dancing, it has really been, just from an anthropological standpoint, it's been very interesting to see how the show and public's reaction to the show. And, there are certain things that I think that they do a little bit better than us. And there are certain things that I think our show is a little bit better, but it's really crazy. So I love it though. I love it. I love it. I love both shows. I love the pros on both shows. I think they're fantastic. So today I actually had a pole dancing class and it was good. It's really frustrating because I travel a lot for work. As if you haven't noticed by like the billion different places this is where I would normally film in my apartment. But normally I am at a hotel room because I'm always somewhere else. And it's difficult to get my pole training in because most of the places that have casinos don't have pole studios, so it's really kind of frustrating. Plus I work so hard that I'm just exhausted by the time I'm done with work. I just want to go to bed. So it is what it is. What it is. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, let's start with Dancing with the Stars. Okay, there has actually been controversy on both shows. So let's start with Dancing with the Stars. Okay, so this past week was the semifinals, which is kind of weird. Okay, so here's weird fact number one. I get that they couldn't do the Tuesday night shows anymore. Okay, I understand, and that affects things like the voting and stuff like that. So I understand all that. But it just feels like this season is a lot shorter than normal. You know what I mean? Like it feels like they're missing because they did a double elimination yesterday. Now, granted, I didn't really count last week. I didn't really count last week's double elimination though because on Disney night they didn't eliminate anyone. So, but they went from 8 couples, this semifinals. No, 2 weeks ago. Wait, last week. Last week they went from 8 couples down to 6, and then they went from 6 to 4. So they did 2 double eliminations in a row, and then there's the finals. And not just that, but now normally, the first 2 or 3 weeks there's 2 shows, and this is the latest format of the show. It used to be very similar to the British format when it first started, and for many years after that. But then somewhere along the line, it just kind of got warped a little bit. But the very last episode, the last week of the show is 2 episodes again, but not this year. This year there's just 1. So that makes me wonder, how are they even going to do the fucking voting for the finale? Okay, so this week they had to do a number and dedicate it to someone in their life. Okay, that's fine, I guess. But then they had to do a second number, and they were coached by a judge. So either Bruno or Carrie Ann or Len came to coach these people on their routines. So okay, first things first. Let's start with Bobby and Sharna. Bobby and Sharna did a salsa to Going Down for Real by Flo Rida. Now, here's the thing about that number. It was cute. I mean, and Bobby was fine. He didn't stand out to me, but it was okay. In that instance, I kind of was a little bit, not irritated, but I'm like, to Sharna, because this should have had a lot more salsa content. Just like Len said, it should have, and even Bruno said the same thing. It should have had a lot more salsa content. I mean, it's the fucking semifinals, right? So, you know, you can only get away on Bobby's charm so long. Well, we'll see about that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then they did a jive to Give Me Some Lovin'. Give me some lovin'. Yeah, they did a jive to that. And that was actually really good. That was actually really fun. I like that one a lot better. Actually, I thought that was really good. So anyways, then there is our Insta couple, Alexis and Alan. So this is what I love. This is what I fucking love. Okay. I mean, you know, I have to say, I do, it's making me laugh. I can't even say it. It makes me laugh because the public is a little bit savage, especially the internet public. Ooh, the public on Twitter and Facebook is fucking savage. Like, they are not buying this canned relationship between Alexis and Alan at all. And they actually, a lot of people pointed out a lot of different things. Like, so, sorry, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. It's close to 9:30 on the West Coast where I am. But it's like 12:30 in Florida and the East Coast, and it's 5:30 in the morning in England. So if you're watching me in England, shout out to you. Okay, so no one is buying this relationship between Alexis and Alan, and I mean nobody. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm living for the comments. These people, I mean, some of them are pretty witty and clever. They're really good. So no one buys it. And they mentioned Kim and Robert. They're like, well, what about Kim and Robert? And then, well, here's the thing, Kim and Robert did not say at all when they were on the show that they had started to see each other or whatever, right? Sorry, it wasn't until after they had already finished the show that they had kind of gone forward. Oh, there's my friend John. What's up, John? How you doing? Yes, I'm talking Dancing for Relevancy. All right, so I'm on the Dancing with the Stars portion where I'm talking about Dancing with the Stars. Okay, so having said that, okay, they were fine. They were okay. I mean, like, here's the thing. They're like, why do they keep calling her a social media influencer? And I'm going, well, it's probably a lot better than calling her a ballerina, because that's what she is. You know, she was a ballerina before she got into swimsuit modeling. Sorry, I got a headache from my eyes rolling so far back in my head. Okay, so, you know, but they were fine. I mean, they're fine. Don't get me wrong. Now, I love me some Alan Burstyn. I love Alan. He might be my new favorite now that Mark and Derek are not on the show. I do love me some Alan. So I do enjoy them quite a bit. I mean, I like him a lot, but I mean, and Alexis is fine. I mean, she's just kind of, I don't want to say milquetoast, but she's just kind of like, you know, she's just there, you know. She's nothing, I don't think she's that special. I mean, I don't mean like special, like she's not a special person, but I'm just like, her performances are not that special. They don't stand out to me at all. So, it is what it is. So they did a waltz to Water by Bishop Briggs, and that was fine. It was okay. But then they did a jive to Yes by Mary Clayton, and let me tell you something. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I was down for that number. That number was fierce. So it took place in, I guess, an aerobic studio, because they had all the troupe around them, and they were all in these just bedazzled workout outfits, and it kind of reminded me of when I was in the Hercules Victory Parade at Disneyland, and I had to dress like an aerobic dancer from like ancient Greece. It kind of reminded me of that, but like even gayer. I'm just saying. But I loved it. I was living for it. I thought it was great. And not just that, but they were on fucking fire. So I give them props for that second dance. That was really good. And so, I meant to say, so Bobby and Sharna were coached by Len, and you know, you could tell that Len was like, I can only do so much, right? And then Alexis and Alan were coached by Bruno. And oh my God, I was living for this because Bruno came out in this bedazzled sequin top to coach. It was fucking great. I lived for it. I was living. It was great. I loved everything about that. Okay. So then there's Grocery Store Joe. Now, here's the thing. I know that I've definitely kind of capped on Grocery Store Joe quite a bit. And, you know, A, he's been on reality television, so it's nothing compared to what the public does. And B, he's not a good dancer, and he knows he's not a good dancer. You know, what's funny is that, you know, Jenna, his partner, is the current title holder for Dancing with the Stars with Adam Rippon. And it makes you wonder, it's like, oh my God, like how do you go from Adam Rippon to Grocery Store Joe? And I know there's gonna be people out there going, oh, but Joe is straight and Joe is so cute and blah blah blah. And it's like, who cares? Like, let's be real. She wants to win, right? They all do. They all want to win. So, you know, she's like, and this was, you know, it was really obvious to me in the first number that they did. The first number that they did was a contemporary, which right away I was like, he's not going to do more than 8 steps in the whole fucking dance. And sure enough, he didn't do more than 8 steps in the entire routine. All he did was lift Jenna, and Jenna better dance for Jesus. She fucking better. I was like, ooh, God bless you. God bless you. Because she was doing all the work. He might have been lifting her, but she was doing all the work in the routine. And everyone was like, yeah, okay, great. And then there was Carrie Ann Inaba. She was their judge for their second number, which was, it was a quick step to check it out by Oh the Larceny. And here's the thing. That quick step is going to be the death of so many people. Like, it was the death of Danielle, whatever, the blind chick. It was the death of her. And I'm telling you, if you are not on your game with that goddamn quick step, you're going home, right? And plus, you know, the fact that Joe wasn't even in the bottom 2 last week was, people were pissed. They were like, Joe needs to go home. Don't you dare vote for Joe anymore. You're done, right? So, okay. He did a little bit, I mean, as awful as the quick step was, at least he was dancing, right? So, I give him a little bit credit. Like, everyone seemed to do better on their second dance than on their first dance. And maybe it was the judges, the help coaching these people, but, you know, I thought that he was just kind of, you know, not anywhere close to where you need to be for the semifinals. This is the goddamn semifinals. You've got to really step up. Well, step up your pussy. Who says it? Wasn't that a phrase once? Step up your pussy. Someone, I swear to God, that was a phrase at one time. Was that a phrase on Drag Race or something? Stepping up your pussy? I don't remember. Whatever. You need to step up your pussy for the semifinals, because you have to, if you want to win, you've got to. Now, the next was Ivana and Keo, and Len also did them. Now, Len actually did a much better job with Ivana and Keo. So the first was another contemporary, to Stand Up for Something by Andra Day, which is a little interesting because, you know, Andra Day is actually a very big circuit artist. Which, if you don't know what circuit parties are, they're big gay parties that have lots of people just shirtless and a lot of people on drugs, but it's actually a lot of fun. White Party, Palm Springs. Check it out for yourself. Okay, so I go every year to White Party, Palm Springs. I love White Party, Palm Springs. I go with John every year to White Party, Palm Springs. It's so much fun. I have the best time. And you know, I didn't even drink until like 4 years ago. And this is like the 16th year. No, this next year will be the 14th year I've gone to White Party. Yeah, crazy. I'm old. Okay. So Ivana and Keo did a contemporary to Stand Up for Something, and it was fine. And then they did a foxtrot to Rewrite the Stars from The Greatest Showman. Let me tell you, Len better work, because I'm not gonna lie, that was definitely the best Ivana has ever done, the best Keo has ever done. And, they were talking to Keo and they were like, this is the furthest you've ever gotten in the competition. And he just started crying. And I was like, I was getting teary. I was like, good for you, Keo. Good for you. That's fucking great. He deserves it, So, okay. Now let's talk about Mophead. Mophead's partner, Juan Pablo, I'm not going to lie, he's really good. He has come very far. Like, they say he's been the most consistent, but in my opinion, he's just been the most consistent, like, the past few weeks. So I would say, like, out of the past 4 weeks, he's gotten 4 perfect scores. Like, he was so good. So here's the thing about him. First, he did a tango to Libertango from the show Forever Tango. And let me tell you, that tango was on fire. Now, he's kind of the opposite of everyone else, where everyone else kind of did better on their second routine than their first. He kicked ass on his first routine. Like, it was another perfect score. So good. And then the second routine was a salsa to Tu Sonrisa by Elvis Crespo. And that also got a perfect score. To me, it wasn't as dynamic as the tango, but it was still good. Like, flawless, right? So listen, I know I might make fun of Mophead, but let me tell you, she's fierce. She knows what she's doing, right? She gets those fucking fuckers into shape, right? So I give her credit, Sorry. Okay, so then there's Milo and Whitney. Oh, and Bruno was the judge that helped Juan Pablo and Cheryl. Okay, so then there's Milo and Whitney. And they did an Argentine tango to Pray For Me. And it was okay. It was fine. It was good. They said that Milo was a little bit wild with his arms. Now, here's the thing. When I worked at Disney, that sounds like it's just one person. There was a few people that were a little bit gangly with the arms, a little bit. So when I hear people say you're wild with your arms, those people are the ones that pop into my head. And Milo is not that bad. Like, and the people at Disney weren't bad either. They were just really kind of crazy. So he did fine. And then the second one was a Cha-Cha-Cha to Good Feeling by Austin French. And that was also great as well, but it wasn't obviously, honestly. Okay, so wait, let's talk about who went home. Okay, so they had their double elimination. And the first couple that they sent home was Joe and Jenna. And you know what? Let's be real. I was like, thank God, right? Thank goodness. Okay, next should be Bobby and Sharna. And it was Juan Pablo and Cheryl. And people lost their shit. In the ballroom, people lost their shit. So, the judges were livid. This man had gotten 2 perfect scores that night, a perfect score the week before, and then 2 weeks before that, a perfect score. And he went home. He went home. And people were, oh my God, you should have seen the comments on Twitter and Facebook. People were going fucking ape. And you know what? Honestly, this is one of those things where I think the British way that they do things is a little bit better, to be perfectly honest with you. So, in England, now it's difficult. You can't really do this in America because they only have one show a week, so you can't really do it. But in England, what they do is they have their Saturday Strictly Come Dancing and then their Sunday results show. But they actually tape the Sunday show 3 hours after they tape the Saturday show. It's actually, they tape it 3 hours later and then they just air it on Sunday. So what they do is the public picks. They vote. You vote for who you vote for, and then whoever is the bottom 2 has to dance off against each other one more time, same routine, and then the judges decide who they want to keep and who stays. Now, some people might say, that's not fair, but the reality is I think it's a lot more fair than, I mean, like, it became so obvious when Juan Pablo got let go because he got two fucking perfect scores. Like, because the voting is from the week before, but he got a perfect score last week too. That's what I don't get, right? So, I think that obviously, there's been a few different ideas floated around by the general public. Some people are saying, well, maybe they need to do a save, like the judges need to do a save. Now, I agree with that in theory, but if they only have a certain number of episodes, that's the whole save thing is I don't know if they could do that. Like, this isn't American Idol, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that would work out that great. I mean, listen, I'm all for revamping the voting. Then other people are saying that they should make the judges' scores hold more weight. Now that is I think that's a good it's a good compromise, like, because the public will still hold a percentage, but I would say at least 60% should go to the judges' scores. So that way you're not ever going to have someone with a super high score be sent home, right? So all these people with crazy huge fan bases, yes, they're watching this season of the show. Does that mean they're going to stay watching the show? I don't know. There might be a few, it's just, but they're disenfranchising so many people. Even the judges, they're disenfranchising their own fucking judges. It's crazy because listen, if I go on Dancing with the Stars and I have a huge fan base, it doesn't matter what the judges fucking say. It's kind of like Joe, though. It's like, well, I made it to the goddamn semifinals. Who cares, right? And the judges are like, well, what the hell am I here for? What do I... So, yeah, people were pissed. So we'll see how the finals go next week. It's definitely going to be interesting, to say the least. But we'll see. It is what it is. All right, so now let's oh, here's another interesting theory that has been floated around the internet. They say that now this is now I didn't even think of this, but it makes sense. They said that the producers of Dancing with the Stars are purposefully doing things shady like this so that people will focus on their other show, Dancing with the Stars Juniors, and how great the kids are and how wonderful that voting system is. Now, that voting system is different because they only allow you to vote in the ballroom. Like, if you're an audience member in the ballroom, you get a vote. America at home cannot vote for them. So I think that's another thing that people have floated too, is like, well, maybe they should just allow the voting only to the people in the ballroom. So that's interesting. That's a good theory too. But I would say I would be all Pollyanna and say, oh, I don't think that anyone would do that. But I know how Hollywood works, and I'm not quite sure. I definitely don't think that you need to discount that. I think that might actually legit be a possibility. So let's talk about Dancing with the Stars Junior. Okay, first of all, there are a couple kids that are struggling at this point of the competition, but even the ones that are struggling are leaps and bounds better than Bobby and Joe on Dancing with the Stars, right? And they're grown-ass men. So I give the kids mad props. I think that they are awesome, incredible. So this week was Junior's Choice. Now, I love this week, okay? The juniors got to pick what song they wanted to do. They got to design their own costumes. And design the creative for their numbers. I thought it was great. It was awesome. It was wonderful seeing the stars, or the kids, the young stars, really sort of take control, and it was awesome. Like it was, I mean, they were so, everyone was really good. Like they really were. So, okay, so first there was Miles and Riley, and they did a cute, it was really cute. They did a jazz dance to Space Jam by the Quad City DJs. Now, first of all, I had to give Miles mad props because you know what? I love me some Quad City DJs. I'm not gonna get that and Come On Ride It the Train. Those are my two jams from them. I love me some Quad City DJs. So they did a really good job. It was really cute. It was really great. And the judges, Adam, Val, and Mandy, were very supportive. They were like, I can't believe you like this song. That is so great. You know, this is wonderful. I love this style of music. It's fantastic. I mean, it was great. They got a 27. And then there was Mackenzie and Sage. Here's the thing. Sage is adorable and he's fierce. You know, he's great. Mackenzie is cute, but we all know she's a great dancer. Like, that's the thing, is I mean, she keeps saying she's a singer, and maybe she's a singer now because that's what she's trying to break into. But let's be real. She was a dancer. We saw her on Dance Moms. She's been a dancer since she was yay high. So, okay. I mean, now, ballroom is different than jazz or ballet or contemporary, because her and her sister are big on contemporary. She was actually really big on acro. I'm really, you know, and that surprises me. I'm surprised they have not thrown any acro tricks into any of their dances. Like, that does surprise me. It's like, okay, that's, maybe she doesn't want to be too much, you know, give too much away to her dance moms growing up, but we've all seen it. It was on television. She was on it for years. Years. Yeah. Okay. They did the cha-cha-cha to What If? And it was a song that Mackenzie sang, like it was one of her own numbers. Which, I mean, I guess that's cool. That's cool, you know, like, can you imagine, like, Lady Gaga going Dancing with the Stars and I want to do my own song? I'm like, okay. That bitch would probably sing it out loud, though. She would probably sing live and do the number and probably be flawless at it, too. But, okay, so then there was Jason and Eliana. Oh, my God. They did a jazz dance, too, and it was so good. And it was, what was really cute about their number was that Jason, I mean, he was living for this Junior's Choice because he did such a good job. He was like, I want troop members here. I want troop members here. And I mean, like, he did everything but actually choreograph the dance. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were some bits that he actually threw in there himself. And the song, this is the best part because, you know, he's like, I don't know, like 10 years old. The song that he picked was from like the 80s. And it's called It's Tricky by Run DMC. And it was, I mean, it was fucking great. Everyone was so good. They were on their game. It was so great. It was incredible. He got a 25. He did a really good job, though. I was really impressed. I thought it was really great. Then Akash and Camry did a Charleston to Do Your Thing by Basement Jaxx. And he spelled in the middle of the dance. I mean, I don't know that. I mean, this was kind of like, okay, yeah, he's, you know, he's a spelling bee champion, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But it just seems to me like he's really struggling in the competition. You know. And then there was my favorite. I really want her to win because she is so fierce. And this is Sky and JT. And first of all, okay, you know I love Alan Burstyn, right? I love me some Alan. That's why I'm not, even though I'm kind of like, oh God, with that fake relationship he's got with Alexis, I'm not like super hating on him because I really want him to succeed, especially after that, that horrific season with Debbie Gibson. Like, I can't, and you know how much that pains me to say that because I love Debbie Gibson. Debbie Gibson was the first concert I ever went to in my entire life. Debbie Gibson at the Greek Theater on August 8th, 1988. 88. I mean, she's She was great. So that she was so bad on Dancing with the Stars that she went home second. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wow, wow. So I'm glad to see Alan go far because this is the Alan that I thought I would have seen with Debbie Gibson. So it's great. So now, okay, but as a mentor to the kids, he is awesome, and I love the banter that he has with the two kids. Like, they give him a hard time, but he loves it, and because they all are so fierce. So they did a samba, which, listen, if it's Junior's choice, like there's a lot of jazz dances. There were 3 different jazz dances. There were a couple cha-cha-chas, but JT and Sky were the only ones to choose to do a samba, which was pretty great. And the song, okay, so this is kind of where I take a few points away from Sky because she wanted to do The Greatest by Sia. Now, listen, I like Sia. I love Titanium and I love Chandelier. I love Perfume from Britney Spears. She wrote that. I like her, okay. I do think, though, that whole shtick about her, half black hair, half blonde, and it goes over her face all the time. I mean, let's be real. That could be anybody. If you pay fucking good money to go see Sia sing and she's wearing that goddamn crap over her face the whole time, it makes you wonder, like, really? Who is that? That could be someone completely different, right? She could be lip syncing. It could be me. You know what I mean? Stupid. But the thing I really don't care for Sia is that she has Maddie Ziegler as her muse. And, so Sky did her number and she was really cute. And JT is just adorable. And they were really great. Both of them are, I really want her to win. I want her to win the whole goddamn thing. She's so fierce. And she, said, I want to thank Maddie. She's my inspiration. She was in the audience because she's, Mackenzie's sister. And Maddie was like, you did really good. You were great, and that was nice. She was very supportive of Sky. So, but at the same time, I was like, minus a couple points in my book just because you shout out to Maddie of all people. But she was great, though. I love me some Sky and JT. I think they're phenomenal. Okay, so then there was Mandla and Brighton. And they did the Cha-Cha-Cha to Perm from Bruno Mars. Now, I've got to say, Mandla stepped it up a little bit. He did better this week than before. I definitely think that the 2 weakest links in this competition are Akash and Mandla, but I definitely think that Mandla has kind of edged himself above Akash. So now Akash is kind of like the weakest link now, but he's also the youngest. Like, he's the absolute youngest in the entire competition. So, and he's been on for quite some time. Like, he's outlasted Honey Boo Boo. He's outlasted chick from MasterChef, right? MasterChef Junior. Yeah, he outlasted her. He's doing good, right? So I give him credit. I give him mad props. Okay, so then Ariana and Ardian did a jazz to Rolex by Io and Tio. And let me tell you, they were on fucking fire. Now, this is another kid that chose to do a hip hop routine. Well, it was actually a jazz dance, but that was the style. But let's be real, it was a hip hop routine, and they were dressed like full on, like they had like these shiny gold dollar signs on their jumpsuits, and they had the hat and they were so fierce. They were so good. I was like, okay. And she actually got the highest score of the night. She got a 28. So I give her mad props. She did really, really good. She did phenomenal. You know what? I always felt like Ariana from Dancing with the Stars Junior. I could have swore that she was the sister to Lucas from the Kids React videos. Have you ever seen those Kids React videos? You need to see them. So when you're done watching this on YouTube, look up Kids React, and the one where you can, where the best one. I mean, his name is Lucas, and his actual name is Lucas Vasquez. So he's not even related to Ariana Greenblatt at all. But when you see him, you will shit a brick because he looks just like he could be her, like they could be siblings, like full on. And he's fierce too. Oh my God. So if you watch any of the kids, if you can only watch one of the Kids React videos, he's in a whole bunch of them, but the one that is the best for him is Kids React to Disco Music. Oh my God, he's on fire. It is so great. It's really great. So if you get the chance, you need to watch that. Just look on YouTube under Kids React to Disco and you'll see the video. It's so funny. So I totally thought he was related to Ariana. He's not. Anyways, they were fierce. They were so good. Like it was impressive. Okay. So then they made their elimination, and the person who got eliminated was Jason and Eliana, and it made me so sad because he was so good and I loved his routine, but in a way though, I'm happy that he at least made it to the junior's choice, you know, because honestly, I don't know what, wait, hold on. Yeah, I don't know what, like, I mean, this is the first season that Dancing with the Stars Juniors has ever been on, so I don't know if they are going to be doing a freestyle for their finale like we do for Dancing with the Stars. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work out. So, I'm definitely, but I will say this. Even Akash, even Mandla, even all these other people, like even Sophia Pippin, like all those other people, like even Honey Boo Boo, they are all way better than the half of the grown-ups on Dancing with the Stars. So I love Dancing with the Stars Juniors. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't super thrilled about it at first. I thought, I was very skeptical of the show, and I love it. I really love it. And maybe that's what the producers have been wanting this whole time, is they want to kind of push towards people towards juniors. Maybe because they've kind of exhausted the realm of celebrity for Dancing with the Stars grown-ups. I don't know. We'll see, but I know people are pissed off about this whole Juan Pablo and Cheryl thing. I mean, people are irritated at the whole, you know, Jason and Eliana thing too, but it's not nowhere close to the level that people are pissed off about Juan Pablo and Cheryl. I mean, like, it's intense. I know that next week is their Giving Thanks week. Now, here's another funny thing that's kind of weird. Dancing with the Stars Juniors has 9 weeks that they're on the air, whereas next week is the finale of Dancing with the Stars. So it's going to go on longer than Dancing with the Stars, which is kind of interesting, you know, that this kids show is going to stay on the air. It's just kind of, okay. So we'll see. Well, next week is a Giving Thanks episode. I don't know what that means, but anyways. So now let's cross the pond and talk about Strictly Come Dancing. Okay, so now this week was Veterans Day, also previously known as Armistice Day. And in England, it's called Remembrance Day. But either way, it's all the same. Because it's the day that celebrates the end of World War One. And if anything, because they were a lot closer to the conflict, I think it's probably a bigger deal in England. And like, it's a huge, like, you know, occasion in England. So they had this really cool opening number. And this was actually on, well, okay, so it was on Veterans Day, but you know that it was filmed the day before. But it was really good. They had the ladies from the Royal Air Force, and they did a dance. I mean, like, it was really great. I mean, it was impressive. It was great. So, okay, so let's talk about the couples. So first there was Kate Silverton and Aliash Skorjanek. And they did the quick step to I Want You to Want Me by Letters to Cleo. And it was, and here's another thing too that's interesting is that, you know, it's kind of like how it used to be here in America in the respect that, like I'll say that it was the I Want You to Want Me by Letters to Cleo. Whereas in America, they might actually play that actual recording. This, they have a band and the orchestra. They do all of the numbers. So when I say that, I just mean they just did their version of that number. They did the quick step, and you know, I gotta give Kate a lot of credit. Like Kate and Stacy and Joe, even like they have zero dance experience, but they have actually progressed quite a bit and learned quite a bit from their partners, and they're doing a really good job with the learning of the routine. So I give them a lot of credit. Now, here's another thing that's interesting about England is that in England, they are harsh as fuck with their scoring. Like so Bruno Tonioli, who also does Dancing with the Stars, he does Strictly too. Now I gotta give it up to Bruno because he goes back and forth every single fucking week. So I give him credit, you know. And Len used to do that too, but these last 2 years, Len hasn't done that. He's just stayed in America. So who instead they've replaced him with is Shirley Ballas, Mark Ballas's mother, the fucking legend Shirley Ballas. And I don't know why people like to give her shit. I really don't, because she knows what she's talking about. But anyways. So they also have Dame Darcy Bustle, who is a ballerina. And then there's Craig Revel Horwood, who's also been on him and Bruno have done every single season of Strictly Come Dancing. Every single one. I did a little bit of research. And he's a tough nut to crack, right? So, like, I don't think he's given a 10 yet, this entire series. They call them series. We call them seasons. But I don't think he's given a 10 this entire season, you know, to anyone. So I think that's kind of interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the controversy surrounding Strictly this week. Now, okay, so let's talk about this. People in England, in terms of the tabloids, are a little bit crazy. Like, first of all, the show obviously must be doing well in the ratings because they have made the tabloids like almost every week there's something. Now, this week, they were talking about Danny John Jules and how he's a bully to his partner, Amy Dowden. Now, here's what I think about the situation. I don't necessarily think that Danny can be called a bully. Not because I don't think he was, you know, bullying per se. I just think that he's a grown-up. And unless there's either a power dynamic or one or both of the people are children, you can't really, he's just an asshole. He's just a dick, right? You know, so, you know, apparently he made Amy cry and she told the producer she couldn't even go on. And, you know, they ended up performing and so they ended up performing. Oh no, I got enough to last me. I just need to talk about Strictly. So they got through performing, and spoiler alert, I'm just going to tell you right now, they ended up going home. And people were like, you know, some people were upset. They were like, I can't believe people are believing all this bullshit from the tabloids. I don't think that Carla Mosley just tweeted me just now. So I got that. That came through right in the middle of my YouTube live. Thanks, Carla Mosley. Thank you so much, Maya. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I'll check out Wedlocked, I promise. Okay. You should too. It's a web series called Wedlocked with her and the guy that plays Carter, John, I don't know, the guy that plays Carter on Bold and Beautiful. Anyways. So So Danny ended up going home. And then, now here's the thing. Now they also have a show called It Takes Two that's literally on every single night of the week. So Monday through Friday. Now it's on a different network. It's on BBC Two. And they have It Takes Two, and I think it's a half an hour. I don't know. I have never watched It Takes Two because, I mean, like, if I did that, that would be like, I could only do that if I worked from home. Like, I couldn't do that if I had a job. If I had an actual job, I couldn't actually do this because that would be too much. It would be crazy. But every week, you know, on the Monday show of It Takes Two, which is hosted by Zoe Ball. Here's another thing too. People really hate Tess Daly. I don't understand. Now it's hosted, the Strictly Come Dancing is hosted by Tess Daly and Claudia Winkleman. And I think that they're fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with her. And it reminds me of how much people hate on Erin Andrews here. I love Erin Andrews. I think she's phenomenal. I think she's even better than Tess Daly, but I love Tess Daly too. I think she's great. You know, she's very British, you know, and she's fine, you know. So I think people need to just chill out about shit like that, really. But Zoe Ball is a good host too, you know, and she hosts It Takes Two. And every Monday on the Monday show, they always have the people that got eliminated the week before. So it's kind of like their way to say goodbye and thank you to the fans, you know, right? So this week, however, Amy showed up by herself and Danny John Jules chose not to come. That was it. That was it. People were pissed. They were like, okay, well, let me tell you something. If you're not even going to show up to thank your fans or whatever, then you are a dick. And so, like, people are like, good riddance. So sayonara to Danny John Jules and Amy. And hopefully next year, Amy gets a better partner. Okay. And which is really sad and unfortunate because he was not a bad partner. Like, he wasn't a bad dancer at all. In fact, he had my vote to come in 5th. So it kind of changes things. Now I think Kate will come in 5th, to be honest with you. Okay, so then there was Ashley and Pasha. They did a contemporary to Unsteady by Ex-Ambassadors, and it was, you know, everyone was always goo goo gaga. I'm sorry. I'm kind of over Ashley. I really am. And she's very nice, I'm sure. And it's just, she still hasn't gotten a 10 from Craig. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. Graham and OT did a salsa to Follow the Leader by the Soca Boys. And they also did a aerobics theme, just kind of like Alan and Alexis did in Dancing with the Stars. And what was interesting about that was that, you know, whereas they did a jive set in aerobic studio and there was tons of jive content. I mean, it was really a great jive routine. It was really good. The salsa one, you know, in a way, you would think that that would actually be better for the whole aerobics theme because it could be like a Zumba class. It's like going to Zumba class, right? But there actually was not that much salsa content in there. So I was I was a little bit disappointed in OT. Now, because she's the one that choreographed it. And I think that Graham was capable of doing a little bit more. She could have, she could have given a little bit more salsa content to Graham. But and, you know, the two of them ended up in the dance-off against Danny and Amy. Now, they ended up getting saved, so good for them. So they'll be back next week. Oh, let's talk about this. Next week on Strictly Come Dancing, they are shooting from a different location. They're shooting from the Blackpool, which is a city in the UK. The Blackpool... I don't know, Blackpool Hotel, Blackpool Gardens, I don't know, someplace in Blackpool. And it's like a really big deal. Like, it's actually, they have a huge, like, Keo on Dancing with the Stars talked about how, you know, when Len judged him for the first time, he was 15 and it was in Blackpool. So I'm sure people in America were like, what the fuck? What is he talking about? But because honestly, it doesn't necessarily ring, but it was also where they filmed the original show, Come Dancing, which had regular people as opposed to celebrities. And it's kind of in the hearts of English people everywhere. So Blackpool is like a really big deal. So, and I'm learning this as we go along. Like I'm researching and learning, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So they have to go to Blackpool, right? So next week is there in Blackpool. So Danny missed out on going to Blackpool, but everyone else is going. So that's great. Okay, then there was my girl. You know I love her. I want her to win the whole fucking thing, to be honest with you. If Ashley comes in second, that's great, but I really want my girl Faye Tozer Smith from Steps. I really want her to win. And she's with Giovanni, who I swear to God is England's answer to Alan Burstyn. They are so similar, it's not even funny. And they did a jive to Reet Petite by Jackie Wilson. Now, Bruno gave them a 10. Craig and Darcy Bustle gave them 9s. And Shirley gave them an 8. Now, people were pissed off, and this is what set people off on Shirley this week, was they were talking about how can she give, you know, Faye an 8, saying that she gave Kate and Aliash. And, I mean, let's be real, Faye was like way better than Kate and Aliash. And they were good, but she was way better. So it's like, okay, all right, okay. And her reasoning was that it was all very one note, and she wanted the performance, for a jive, she wanted it to be a lot more dynamic. So, you know, and to her credit, I need to give Faye and Giovanni a little bit of credit, because they have never once let a bad criticism bring them down. Like, they've never once ever gotten, like, you know, crying over a low score or crying over a comment that a judge made. Like, they've never been upset about anything. They just taken it and move on. And that's professionalism, and I love that about her. I really want her to win. I really do. Okay, so then there was, okay, now here's someone, now, okay, so Stacey Dooley, I didn't know who the hell she was, to be perfectly honest with you. No clue. No clue who the hell Stacey Dooley was. She is a documentary maker, I guess, or personnel or narrator, or I don't know. She does documentaries, journalist. And she had, her partner is Kevin Clifton, who has really been so good this entire season. Like, I'm really enjoying getting to know Kevin Clifton on Strictly Come Dancing, because he's so good. Like, I think he's kind of like the English version of Derek Huff, to be honest with you. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there right now. I think he's kind of the British Derek Huff. He might, I mean, yeah, I definitely think he's the British Derek. And here's the thing, Stacey Dooley has done a great job ever since week 1. She's done a really good job of everything that Kevin has thrown at her. So I give her credit. She's doing, and they kind of won me over. Like, I hope they come in second, actually, over Ashley, to be honest with you. But we'll see how that goes. But they did what did they do? They did a waltz to Moon River, and it was really beautiful. It was really pretty. Like, it was just great. It was so wonderful. I loved everything about it. It was so good. Okay, so then there was Joe and Diane. Now, previously, I think maybe like 2 weeks ago, the tabloids were talking about how Joe and Diane have started a relationship, whatever. They've fallen victims to the Strictly curse. That's what they call it, when the people start dating their partners. So, like, that would be like if we said that, you know, Alexis and Alan were falling victim to the Dancing with the Stars curse. But America, we don't think that that's a curse. We don't give a shit. You know, whatever, you know, whatever. Also, America is probably not one to buy shit like that if it's not true. I'm just saying. Okay. So Joe and Diane, listen, Joe's a cute little twink, right? He's doing fine. He did a routine and this was a samba, which was interesting because it was a samba, and he did it to Mbop by Hanson. Now, here's the thing. I love Hanson, and I love Mbop. I love it. And it was a entertaining number to watch. Was it full of samba content? maybe on Diane's part, but you wouldn't know by looking at Joe, right? So, you know, and Joe's another one who has actually progressed every single week. He's done very good every single week. So, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, this wasn't his week. It just wasn't his week. But he wasn't even in the bottom because, again, he's got those rabid followers on social media. But again, because of the way that they do... Now, I don't know how they do the finale. I don't know. I don't know how that works because I have never seen it. So I don't know. But I know that, like, up until then, you know, whoever's in the bottom is in the bottom, and then the judges decide who they want to keep. So you're not gonna have a huge upset like you did in America with Juan Pablo. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Okay, so then there's Lauren and AJ. You know, I love me some AJ. I love me some AJ Pritchard. And Lauren and they did a Viennese waltz to "You Are the Reason" by Callum Scott. And here's the thing. They did great. They did fine. They were okay. I mean, they weren't like, oh my God, they were so wonderful. But, like Kevin and Stacy. But they weren't like, oh God, they were so awful. You know, they were good. They were okay, you know? I think that Lauren is good for the next couple weeks. I think she's good for the next couple weeks, and then she kind of needs to worry. But I think for the next couple weeks, I think she's fine. Although, here's something interesting. And they talked about how in Blackpool, it's usually someone involved in sports that gets voted off. Now, people are saying that it's going to be Lauren next week. But actually, I'm thinking it might be Graham. Because Graham is a cricketer. Cricketer, I don't know, and he's good. I think he might be, because he's been in the bottom two a couple times. So I think maybe it'll be between him and Lauren, and they'll have to pick. But yeah, I don't know. I would think that Lauren would be safe next week, but you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. I mean, I also wouldn't have pegged Danny John Jules to have gone home this early, but he did. So. Okay, so then finally we have Charles and Karen, and they did a Charleston to a cute arrangement. I've got to give them props for this arrangement. It was really cute, of a song by Blackstreet called No Diggity, which the original is nothing like that. And the original is a great song, though. Don't get me wrong. I love it. No Diggity. But it was a Charleston version, and it was really cute, actually. It was really cute. And they did a Charleston. I wasn't super impressed by it, to be honest with you. I thought it was okay. They didn't really stand out to me in terms of anything. But, you know, and I know that the British public hates Karen for whatever reason. They don't care for her. So we'll see how that goes. But he hasn't been in the bottom two the past 2 weeks, so that's good. Because he's been in the bottom two like the last 3 weeks before that. So it is what it is. Thank you. So next week is Blackpool. So I'm really excited about Blackpool. We'll see how it goes and how all the dancers go. Anyways, thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Angel Benton. And, you know, if you missed this and you're watching the replay that's on my channel, hit subscribe to the channel so that and then hit the notifications button. That way you'll get notified every time I do go live, so you'll be able to watch live with me. Not watch live with me, because I don't do that, but you'd be able to watch me giving my commentary live. So yeah, check it out. Anyways, thank you for logging on today. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.